let's do some wrestling current events before we get out of here today. AEW Fight Forever will be a single release video game that will evolve over time based on its DLC. Man, the more I hear about this game, the more I start to fall in love with it. I was talking to Lauren the other day about the idea of why is there not a wrestling video game that comes out with the core package, the core idea of the game, and then just updates over time. It just gives you everything you need. And then here we go. We find out that's kind of what AEW Fight Forever is planning on doing. You know, a one-time game. You'll buy the game, $49, $59, $69, whatever they choose to charge for the game. You buy the game, and then you just, as new wrestlers come out, as things need to be updated, you just pay for the updates that you want to keep the game current. This can keep a game alive. I mean, there's games on Xbox. Sea of Thieves is one of them that I used to play that's been around for 5-6 years now. So you could, I mean, they could get some, you could squeeze the juice out of an orange. You could get some life out of a game like this if you just continue to update it for the next 3 or 4 years. Because based on the style of gameplay they're going for, they're not going for something that's gonna, you know, you either love or hate those graphics. And if you are a fan of the graphics, I think that they'll last 4 or 5 years. So this is awesome. I really hope that this model works out. I think if we enjoy it, we need to support it, pay for the DLC, and I hope it works out because I hope this forces WWE 2K to look at that model and go, okay, we need to do something like this because AEW's Fight Forever is going to feel much more current than a WWE 2K game is because WWE 2K, by the time it comes out, everybody always goes, it's the year before. You're playing the year before, but nobody really wants to do that. We want to play current rosters and current superstars. And so I hope that this forces 2K to look at this game model and go, maybe we're better on a 2-year release schedule, right? We release and then every 3 months we update the theme songs, we update some finishing moves, we update some characters. Instead of this with WWE 2K, we get this kind of such hardened like DLC. It's like, this is what it is. We're not going to sway off of this. We're not going to give you Cody Rhodes. We're not going to give you anybody you really want. We're going to give you a bunch of people that half of them are off the roster already. If they just went with this mentality of here's the game, and now for the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to update the game with new character models. I think that is a winning strategy. I think this will do well for AEW Fight Forever. And the more I hear about the development of this game, the more I get excited and the more I understand that this game is Kenny Omega didn't lie. This is a player-friendly game. This game was built on nostalgia. This game was built by the idea of the Nintendo 64 wrestling games. And I think that it's going to find success. I really do. I think all wrestling games kind of hinge on their creation suite. I think if it's got a good enough creation suite that it can survive, if people can kind of add their own games. I still don't understand from a wrestling video game point of view. If I had the money to do this, I would go do it. To me, you could create a wrestling game unlicensed. Don't do AEW, don't do WWE, don't use any licensing. Don't even put any characters in the game. What you do is you create a game. It's a wrestling game with solid wrestling mechanics and just the most phenomenal creation suite you've ever seen, and just allow people to create all the wrestlers. And let them get real nitty gritty and make them look and feel. You don't have licensing problems when they're doing all of that stuff. And so you let the people create the Roman Reigns, the Kenny Omegas, and you just give them a sandbox to create all of this wrestling content, and they'll do it. And then for anybody who's not into creating, they just download other people's characters. I think that's a winning formula for a wrestling game.